Name of the student who took the photo, Jerry Chris Adonis. Ifugao Ilocano, Provincia Tui Ifugao, Tagalog. Lalawigan ng Ifugao is a landlocked province of the Philippines in the Cordillera Administrative Region in Luzon. Its capital is Laga and it borders Benguet to the west, Mountain Province to the north, Isabela to the east, and Nueva Vizcaya to the south. Among highland peoples of the insular Southeast Asia, the Ifugao enjoy the rare distinction of becoming widely known not under some originally generic term for savage mountaineer, but under their own name for themselves as mispronounced by their Christianized Gadang neighbors, Ipago, the people of the Nome. The Ifugao houses were usually similar in architectural designs, but they differ in decorative details depending on the tribes. Their houses were harmoniously located with the contour of the rice terraces. The ground level the posts have wooden discs which was called oleang to prevent rats from entering the house. Name of the student who took the photo, Kenneth Coyme. Casa Redonda, also known as Rizal Shrine, located in Barangay Talisay, Dapitan, Philippines. It is exactly the same spot where Rizal built his home in exile, which lasted for years, from July 7, 1890 to July 31, 1896. It features replicas of the house which were rebuilt on their original sites. They are made from bamboo and nipa to resemble the original structures. Casa Redonda is an octagonal stilt house that served as the quarters of Rizal's student and a clinic. It was here where George Toffer, the foster father of Josephine Bracken, had his eye operation. Name of the student who took the photo, Rose Badilla. The Tausug Moro cultural community's royalty houses, known as Astana, are thought to have originated in Astana Push, in Umbul Dua, and the municipality of Indanan on Jolo Island. Astana Push is a Tausug word for White Palace. During the 14th century, the original seat of the Royal Sultanate of Sulu was established here. During the 1800s, it was relocated to Mambay. Name of student who took the photo, Lydan Janry Angas. The Bayanihan spirit shows Filipinos' concept of helping one another, most especially in times of need, without expecting anything in return. Bayanihan refers to the spirit of communal unity, work and cooperation to achieve a particular goal. Though no longer commonplace, this has become a traditional symbol for the concept of Bayanihan. This is done by putting bamboo poles forming a strong frame to lift the stilts from the ground and carrying the whole house with the men positioned at the ends of each pole. This painting was created by national artist Carlos Badong Francisco in 1962. Name of student who took the photo, Pearl Adoracion. Ivitan House. Before Spaniards arrived in the Philippines, Ivitans built their houses from cogon grass. These homes were small, well situated, and designed to protect against strong winds. The Spaniards introduced large-scale production of lime to the Ivitan for the construction of their now famous stone houses. The Ivitan house is made primarily of lime, stone, wood and thatch. It commonly consists of two structures, the house proper and the kitchen or storage area. The kitchen or storage area is usually made of wood and thatch. The Ivitan houses are not the typical houses you can find in the Philippines. The Ivitan people, an ethno-linguistic group of the Batanes province in the northernmost part of the country, built the now famous stone houses for a very good reason. The Ivitan people, an ethno-linguistic group of the Batanes province in the northernmost part of the country, built the now famous stone houses for a very good reason. To protect them against the harsh environmental conditions. Batanes is surrounded by major bodies of water including the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean, hence it doesn't have a very stable climate. The Ivitan houses are made of meter-thick limestone and coral walls as well as cogon grass roofs, and they are sturdy enough to withstand strong winds. Name of the student who took the photo, Karein Agor. Bahay Kubo. The Bahay Kubo is a house made entirely of native resources like wood, bamboo, and nipa grass. The Bahay Kubo's architectural ideas were inspired by the Filipinos' basic requirements. It has bamboo or kawayan walls that are held together by tree strings. These materials are lightweight and ideal for use in tropical climates. To avoid flooding grounds and creatures such as snakes, the house is normally erected to meters off the ground. These charming homes have changed over time, inspiring many of the country's modern architectural constructions. Origin: Bahay Kubo is a traditional Tagalog Filipino folk ballad from the lowlands of Luzon that has been passed down through generations and is credited to have been penned by 1997 national artist for music Felipe Badilla de Lydan. The Bahay Kubo, also known as the Nipa hut, is a type of still-dwelling seen in Philippine civilizations. Nothing better exemplifies the rich Filipino heritage than the simple Bahay Kubo or Nipa house, which has expanded and evolved over time. Name of the student who took the photo: Ariel Arcabal. A Torogan lit. Resting place or sleeping place is a traditional house built by the Maranao people of Lanao, Mindanao, Philippines. A torogan was a symbol of high social status. Such a residence was once home to a sultan or datu in the Maranao community. Originally built around the 1740s, it stood witness to the various episodes of battles in Lanao. The National Historical Commission of the Philippines lists it as a National Historical Landmark. A torogan is elevated above the ground by columns cut from trees of huge girth. Its walls are covered with plywood sticks and the roof thatched with dried coconut leaves. There is no interior partition, so it appears as a huge hall. Apart from the basic elements of this structure, it is intricately engraved with the flowing geometries of the Maranao design system called ochre. A torogan is not complete without the legendary bird sarimanak being displayed inside. Furniture is also common among Maranaos. Name of the student who took the photo: Shella Coyme. Straw bale house is a building with straw began in the US at the end of the 19th century. The bale press was invented in Nebraska. People built the first straw bale houses due to the lack of wood and wealth of grain. In the early 21st century, eco-architecture discovered corn stalks for insulation. Since 2014, straw has been approved as a building material. Straw bales may be used in non-load-bearing construction methods without additional approval. A straw house does not immediately go up in flames, contrary to all preconceptions. Building straw has the building material class B2 and is considered as normally flammable. When combined with an 8 cm thick layer of clay, it is classified in the fire resistance classification F30 fire retardant. Name of the student who took the photo: Jaydee Villag's Cayanong. The Bahay Nabato, which literally means house of stone, is a Filipino structure that was built during the Spanish colonial period. The Bahay Nabato is a modernized variant of the Bahay Kubo as evidenced by its skeletal structure being a house on stilts. Its design has developed over time, but it still adheres to the architectural principles of the Bahay Kubo, which are suited to the tropical climate, stormy season, and earthquake. It has a rectangular design which is mirrored in vernacular Austronesian Filipino traditional dwellings combined with Spanish flair. This type of structure was popular among the elite or middle class, and integrated the characteristics of the Nipa hut with the style, culture, and technology of Chinese and Spanish architecture. With the minor variations and same architectural style, it was utilized for Spanish-era convents, monasteries, schools, hotels, factories, and hospitals throughout the Philippines, as well as certain American-era at Gabaldon school buildings. However, after the Second World War II, this type of structure was declined and eventually stopped in favor of post-World War II modern architecture. And today these houses are more commonly called as ancestral houses. Name of the student who took the photo: Dave Bandoy. Spoli houses are spread sparsely over the entire Spoli area. They come in isolated clusters of 3 or 4, since there is a close interaction among relatives. The house is raised about 6 feet or more above the ground with the side always barely more than 3 feet high. The roof is made of kogon, or other dried grass, which is strung and sewn down to the bamboo rafters with strips of dry abaca or rattan. The posts are of bamboo except for the 3 stumps still rooted to the ground that are occasionally utilized as posts for the inner portion of the floor. Taboli folk literature reflects the typical beliefs, customs and traditions of their society. Practically every aspect of Taboli life is governed by folk beliefs and sayings.